Hi, everybody. Fellow students, distinguished alumni, professors, and future collaborators, it is an honor to stand before you as student ambassador for the nutrition department. It takes guts to tell your story to a room full of strangers, but nutrition majors are used to talking about guts. When you ask someone why they picked their major, I feel like it's that classic prison mess hall scene where you're like, what are you in for? Well, my story isn't prison crazy, but it's sort of nuts. If you're thinking, here's another story about triumphing over incredible odds, I'd have to say, and you're totally right. You nailed it. I know that some of these stories are ubiquitous, but they're true, and this one happens to be mine. Let me start with a brief history of my universe. My name is Mina Frederick. I'm the first person in my family to graduate from college, male or female. I am also the third woman in a row to drop out of high school. I was dangerously depressed during my teens. High school can be really tough, but for me it was impossible. After a few hospital stays, I was emancipated in my junior year. I aced my GED, and then I started what would be the first in a string of exhausting and unfulfilling jobs that would span the next decade of my life. I washed trucker spit off of motel walls. I managed a coffee shop in one of the worst neighborhoods in a local city. I even sold magazines door to door in Staten Island. I can say with confidence from experience that the world is terrifying when you have no idea what you want to do. My life is so different now that I can barely remember what it felt like to not have a goal, or just how terrible it was to want better things out of life. Things didn't get easier for a long time. In fact, they got worse. In 2008, my mother was diagnosed with lupus, and in 2011 with stage 3 uterine cancer. I was working overtime with nothing to show. I didn't feel like I belonged at home, so I moved out, and I didn't feel like I belonged at my job, but I couldn't quit. I knew that my horizons weren't going to spontaneously expand, and I needed some inertia. That summer, I happened to turn 24, which is a magical age if you're under the poverty line, because that is the year of financial independence, according to the United States government. I filled out my FAFSA, and I enrolled in Holyoke Community College. I didn't love nutrition science from the get-go because I didn't even know that it existed. If you've ever spoken to me, then you know that I really love science. I love science so much that I would marry science if I could. I would like to emphasize just how strongly science-based practices will shape this field, and how important this emphasis on science is for the future of public health itself. It's no secret that the coming decades will present novel problems for dietitians, geneticists, neuropsychologists, and microbiologists alike. Strong collaborations between these fields are what will generate the next scientific paradigm, a paradigm that will hold the solutions to public problems of today in the not very distant future. Science-based nutrition is this incredibly effective fusion of truth and compassion. When I found out that I could do awesome lab stuff and actually help all kinds of people help themselves in a million different ways, that's what really blew my mind. That was it. That's what I wanted to do. I am well taken care of here at UMass, where my enthusiasm for learning and science is highly encouraged and well matched by my professors. All I had to do was show up and ask. And you guys are definitely brave. After all, you saved the world. My favorite author, Kurt Vonnegut, said it best, so I will leave you with his words. Many people need desperately to receive this message. I feel and think as much as you do. I care about many of the things that you care about, although most people might not care about them. You are not alone. Thank you.